Welcome. My name is Mark Sperling. I am one of the co-founders of Group Y. Welcome to everyone. There's a lot of familiar faces here. We are here, especially you. We are celebrating our 17th anniversary this week. So thank you. We actually started only a half block away, right over here at the camp, one rainy night. There was 5 of us. And we kind of got together and we just said, away from the trade shows, how many of you guys remember ASR? We're old. Okay. And we were just kind of getting together and figuring out ways how we can kind of connect, figure out ways how we can help each other, get new jobs and things like that. And here we are 17 years later. A lot has happened. We have a whole new thing we're going to be announcing here, a new era. And so again, thank you so much. I know there's a lot of familiar faces. Some of you were there 17 years ago and some of you are new faces. So welcome. Before we kind of kick things off here, I want to give a big special thanks to BG and Skullcandy. Welcome back to the OC. It's nice to be working with this brand again. I remember when they first launched and it was great to kind of see them kind of re-merge back. And BG's got a lot going on and we'll talk with him in a little bit. Also a special thanks to our entire team, Tyler, who runs our content. Say hi, Tyler, back there. Fritzy bartender, doing all the drinks for everybody, getting the libations going. Also my wife, Jean Marie. Yes, we are celebrating our anniversary here at this event. So there we go. So like I said, we started 17 years ago. There were 5 of us. We came all from the action sports and entertainment industry. We were just trying to get together. We started kind of meeting on a monthly basis, organically growing. We started becoming legitimate by holding our own events. Having a number of speakers. And then ultimately over time, we are now 17 years later, we have a community of over 50,000 plus followers and members. We have produced over 250 events and we've had over 900 speakers, some of which are very familiar faces. So this is just a quick little description of who we are. We're uniting industries, igniting ideas, and bridging generations. And these are some of the speakers that we've had over the years. It's basically a who's who. So we've had everyone from company founders all the way up to celebrities, musicians, Lewis Hamilton, which is still one of my favorites, basketball players and such. It's been an incredible thing. All of them basically have that unique tie back to youth culture and youth marketing. These are some of the events that we've helped produce over the years, some of the bigger ones. We just recently did the NBA Con with Wembley and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was our keynote speakers. I've never felt so small in my life. We also produced the Complex Conversations. How many of you have been to Complex Con before? A few of you? Yeah. So that's coming up in November. I expect all of you to be there again. So we produce all those conversations for them. We did Agenda Festival and Agenda Emerge. We've also done something in the Water Festival for Pharrell and his team. We used to do a thing called Agenda Emerge, which was basically our TED Talk for the youth culture back in the day. We also produce an event called ASC, Action Sports and Culture. And without further ado, some of you saw the press release yesterday. I am grateful for this person. Someone I met actually a number of years ago. She was actually an intern at one of our very first Action Sports conferences. And here we are years later. She is now our new managing director, Kyrstin Stone.
Hello. Thanks guys. Thanks all my friends who showed up. But I'm Kyrstin, like Mark said. Thank you, Mark, for everything. It's really funny about maybe 4 or so months ago, I had this whole spiral saying that this industry has a whole next gen that is untapped right now, that I'm talking to friends with, hanging out with every single day. And there's a disconnect from what's going on with all the old guys, so to speak. No offense to some of y'all that are here. And then to all the people just that, I see every single day. So it's how do we kind of bridge all these generations so that we can guarantee just that these industries are still living on, not just now, but in the next 10, 20, 30 plus years. Because my favorite thing to say is that, if you go to a skate park, there's a kid there who's 7 years old skating, but are we talking to them and having a conversation with them? or are we talking at them? And a lot of the times we're talking at them. So that's why like I said, I had a little spiral because I was like, we could be doing more. I could be doing more. And before I started out on my own, I just shot Mark an email, who's been a longtime supporter of the work that I've done with my business partner in the back, Steph. And so her and I started an initiative called Skate to the Polls, which was a youth nonpartisan skateboarding initiative to get more young people out out voting, which we had, I don't know our numbers, but a lot of kids got out and voted. And it was really education forward. And Mark was a big supporter of posting and sharing and really just getting that message out for us as well. So it only made sense. I reached out to him and be like, hey, Mark, before I build something completely brand new on my own, would you want to maybe work together and figure out a way for us to like bridge all the work just that you have done over the past 17 years with the work that I'm currently doing and want to keep doing for my next 17 plus years as well. So yeah, that's really why I'm here. I'm really excited. We have a lot of really great stuff coming up. We have more events, more speakers. Tonight, I think is going to be a really great example of the people that we are going to bring out. So it's, again, just this intergenerational conversation and more fun stuff ahead. And you probably already read the press release. I didn't choose that photo, but I do always wear loud clothes, so you can't miss. I know, I was like, I look so kind in that picture, but yeah, that's about it. But thank you all so much. I'm going to pass it back to...
We're going to... Big round of applause. So we have a lot of things going on. Kyrstin's going to be really kind of overseeing a lot of the events we have going on, the education, the community building. I am still involved. I know a lot of people thought I was running away, but I'm still involved, and I'm going to be dealing with a lot of the bigger initiatives that we have. Things like, I don't know if you've seen, we have a thing called Authenticity. We have some other bigger events coming up, working with some major festivals and things like that. So a lot to come down the pipeline here. So first and foremost, we have a brand new site, a new look and everything. Kudos to the two of them right there for coming up with that. First thing you should do is, when you got time, sign up on our website, create your own profile. That will get you access to a number of different things. You'll have like a profile page. We also have a whole community section, so we have a number of people. And so we're going to be doing a lot that you're going to be able to see a lot of the different people that are involved in Group Y from all different facets. These are some of the things we have on the website. So we have the community. We have a lot of events coming up. A couple of the ones we have coming up that were some of our partners. We have the Hundreds Family Style Festival, the Coast Film and Music Fest, Bend, back there. That'll be in Laguna Beach. Check that out in November. Complex Con I mentioned. And if you're a Group Y member, you get discounts to every single one of these events and more. So definitely go onto the website and get access to all those. We have a lot of content. We have a thing called the Yellow Pages, which I'll mention too, is something on there. If you want to kind of connect, you want to kind of tell a little bit about yourself, you have an opportunity that you want people to kind of get involved in, whether it's volunteering or your charity, things along that, please go ahead and post on there, and then we'll broadcast that out to everybody that we have going on there. And then we also have a lot of job listings that were curated by all the different companies in our community. So I know a number of you have been kind of looking for new jobs in our space. We also have, over the 17 years, over 85 hours of videos, a lot. So definitely, we've had over about 7.6 million total views on all these videos, and it's pretty incredible. So definitely, there's a wealth of insights, knowledge, incredible stuff that's going on there. We're going to be launching more and more of those videos over the next few weeks. And so definitely tap into that. Follow us on social. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We are now on TikTok for all you youngsters out there, Twitter, and also YouTube. X. Thanks, Elon. And then also, like I said, we're going to be posting tons of content on there. Definitely go on there on all the different profiles. We're going to be posting nonstop. Tyler is going to be doing an amazing job with all that. And then with that, we are going to kick things off. Ladies and gentlemen, our very first speaker for Community 101, Brian.
Hey, thanks. What? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Hello.
Well, thank you so much, Brian, for allowing us to be here. We're going to be, possibly this could be the first of many events here in the future. So we have a lot planned over that time. So BG and I have known each other for a number of years. Brian has been involved in a number of incredible brands throughout that entire time, anywhere from DC Shoes to Ruka. He was recently CMO over at Igloo, and now he's over here as the CEO of Skullcandy. So you've had an incredible career with all these different brands. You've seen it all.
I'm tired.
So we're going to kick things off real quick, as this is about community. And a lot of you are building out your own communities, whether it's with your own brand, your nonprofits, or even your own, personal branding that you're doing online. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to go into our next panel right after this. So, Brian, with your experience working at all those different brands that I mentioned, what has influenced your approach to building and nurturing a strong community?
First off, before we get started, I got to say, congrats on 17 years. Give it to him one more time. First Group Y event I went to in your first year, I was 12. Could you imagine?
Yes, I know.
All right, to answer the question, I think one of the things that I always tell people about my career path is I've had the very good fortune to be cool adjacent. I was never very cool, but I got the great fortune to be right next to a lot of very cool people, like a lot of you in the room. The people that really build communities, push communities forward, nurture communities, passion, they care. People that are willing to take the risk, take the step out without asking anything in return. They just want to be there for the love, do something that they very much care about. I think I saw a lot of that in myself. And now, on the business side, that I have more of a platform to do that. That's one of those things that I hold very dearly. I'm a steward of a decent sized brand. I really, really love the sports, the lifestyle, the music, the culture that we participate in. So I'm emotionally connected, and I want to do my part, just like the people I've seen around me, to push the culture forward, give people the platform, do everything that we possibly can without take.
Great answer. Can you share some insights into what you believe are the core elements necessary to build an authentic and engaged community for the enthusiasts, especially around Skullcandy in particular?
That was a great ChatGPT question. It really was.
Thanks, chat.
A wise person 2 minutes before me said there is a big gap in the generations of people in this room that had a big hand in building our industry and people who are driving the culture today. I firmly believe that. Thank you for saying it. Do it. All right, my job, my role, understand that and not say, this is what we're doing and you should like it. My job is to ask, what should we be doing and how can we add to your culture?
Great answer.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Nailing this. Who's keeping score?
We got to have a little scorecard. All right, so you just recently launched this space. You're talking about making this more of a community type of space. What are some of the initiatives that you're planning for this space so that all of us can participate and use it?
We are living in it in real time. All right, so this is Skullcandy's West HQ. So a lot of the people in this room, you probably remember San Clemente. So 2017, that office closed when we rebuilt a new headquarters in Park City, moved the entire staff there. I don't think that was the greatest idea, but I wasn't there. When I'm here and I'm asking people, what do we need to do? Where do we need to be ingrained in the culture of the community? We work with skateboarders, surfers, snowboarders, musicians, podcasters, social media celebrities, gaming streamers, et cetera, et cetera. We built this space for you. So we have a couple people working out of here day to day. We literally just turned the lights on in this place about a month ago. Mark was in the room in the first event where I got to stand right here and say, we built this space for you. This is for the community. So however you see fit to use it, please use it. And Mark was the first person to say, hey, I could use this.
Duh.
And here we are. The little room back behind you, or back behind all of us there. So we are just about to build that out as a content studio. So we will have all the equipment here for photography, videography, podcast recording. You are doing any of those things, call us up, use it for free. It's your space. We've got the equipment. Like, but wait, there's more. All right, right where we're sitting, we've got a very nice projector and a very nice screen. We can fit about 100 people in here. If you are looking to host your own event and get your community together, you got a space here. If you want to do a video premiere, you got a space here. You can film something in that room. You can go edit it in the edit bay that we're building out in the back, and you can premiere your video here. This is your space. This is how we want to help support the community and allow you to build your community on our dime, essentially. We're also building out a little video game streaming zone. So for those of you that have your Twitch platform and you want to come stream with some, a great platform, great equipment, it's here for you. So this is the space. It's your space. We don't have the hotline up yet because it's the paint is barely dry. But tune into Group Y. We'll let you all know when the space is ready, 30 to 60 days from now, how to get a hold of the person who's programming the space, and come use it, put it to use, and we're on a fun block too, so it's not a bad place to have to go jump in and film your podcast.
All right. Open invitation. I want to see some of you people start using this, so please do. So our next question is, you touched on it a little bit, but keeping a community engaged is a challenge. What are some of the strategies or things that you implemented over the years at the other brands and even now to keep them engaged with your brand throughout it?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. I think, again, I'm going to go back to this because I can't help myself, but this kind of gap in generations. Everybody who works for board riders, who worked for board riders, and seeing what's happening right now with the culture that we all built, with the brands that we all built now being owned by a licensing company. And they very well can run those brands very well and still support community. But I think it's going to be in a very different way. So my humble perspective, a generation of 20 years ago built an absolutely phenomenal culture around board sports, and we had incredible moments in the media and with content and feature films, et cetera, and then kind of got a little bit of fat and happy. And then there's been a little bit of a glut of we haven't been pushing the culture forward, and that's where old guard, new guard. To answer the question directly, I think it's three things. Number one, people. The people that are ingrained in the culture, pushing the culture forward, give them the platform, give them the reins to the community. Number two, constant. You can't do something big and think it's going to last for 100 years. You've got to do every single little push of the flywheel. This space, we want to have something happen in this space 3 times a day, every day, for as long as we possibly can. And that's one very small part of what Skullcandy will be doing in the community. And then last, constant and consistent. Consistent means, if we very much love this culture and we want to push it forward, we can't get caught falling asleep at the wheel 10 years from now.
Okay. Good. What? Up.
Yeah, all right.
And as the final question, what role do customer feedback play in maintaining a thriving community, and how do you encourage that ongoing participation in shaping the brand's products and the experiences, especially now with social media and almost like an instant feedback that you're getting from them?
That's a great question. It's a really tough one. So the tough part about it, double-edged sword, right? The end consumer is the lifeblood of all of our livelihoods. If we're building content, if we're building headphones and selling them, if we own restaurants and we want people to keep coming back in and eating. This is all about listening to the consumer as much as possible, but knowing which consumers to listen to. You've got to have a point of view. If you try and be something for everybody, you usually end up being nothing to anyone. Have your very definitive point of view. Listen to the consumers that you absolutely know are the ones challenging you and pushing your brand to be better and better all the time. But the other side of that is social media, real easy to be a keyboard jockey and a loudmouth and complain about something constantly when, you know, if somebody complains to me about the way a specific product works, I might not care. But if it's a musician that we work with and we support and they tell me that there's too much treble in this in the audio profile, I care about that a lot. All right, so have your point of view, listen to the right people, put your filter on it of sometimes you might not need to listen.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep this one short and sweet, so we want to give a big round of applause to Brian. Thank you so much for getting with it. So with that, we're going to bring up our next panel. And so Kyrstin is going to be moderating this one.
So a quick intro, because they told me that they don't want to do their own intros tonight, so I'm in charge. Jessa, it's really funny because I learned about Jessa from, I keep talking about Steph, glad she's here, but I learned about Jessa from Steph, who's standing up in the back, who told me about Jessa's organization, Intrsxtn Surf, that basically gets women of color into the water, regardless of literally anything. It's like, if y'all want to surf, you're welcome to come out here and be with us. And through that, Jessa's seen a lot of, like, not only growth, but a lot of brand partnerships and success. In how long have you had Intrsxtn now?
Just over 2 years.
Yeah, which is round of applause. Which is incredible because, as we all know, getting more people out in the water and especially into board sports is something that is not always easy. But Jessa's done it, and her partnership that I love the most, and we talked about it because I loved it, was with Pattern Beauty, and that is a huge collab because Pattern, as you know, founded by Tracy Ellis Ross, is all about, you know, curly and coily hair textures, and partnering up with a surf brand is probably the smartest things that they could have done, and especially Jessa's. So it's Jessa, and then next to her we have Brooklinn Khoury, who, woo, Brooklyn, yeah. I actually met Brooklyn at, it's Brooklyn, is this weird?
Whatever you want.
Okay, because I have her in my phone as Brooke, and then I emailed and it said Brooklyn, and I was like, I'm doing this all wrong right now.
Brooklyn's really official.
Oh, is it? Okay.
No, I'm joking.
I'm like, it's Brooklinn Khoury over there. I actually had the honor of meeting Brooklyn at a Bones Love Milk event in 2019 in Huntington Beach. It's actually the last event I worked on before COVID.
It's also the last time I saw you.
I know, which is what, but now we're internet friends, and that's what we're going to talk about a lot here today, the internet. But I've just gotten to watch Brooklyn not only host events all over that are getting more, just whether it's queer folks, brown folks, women, everybody out into skate. I think probably one of my favorite moments is she hosted an event with, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name?
Brianna.
Thank you, Brianna King. That's a name I never forget with Brianna King, and she was teaching people how to drop in. And that seems like something that's like very, you know, like dropping in for a lot of people is really easy and it's not scary. But seeing Brooklyn with like this like big, like, come on, you can do it face, people were stoked to be there. And that's what's rad. So,
thank you.
And that's like what we're going to be talking about though, is how Brooklyn and Jessa are really out here getting more people involved in board sports by building these strong communities, both online and IRL. So, that's my I could talk about probably both of y'all forever, but
That was way better than the intro.
Okay. I was like, I don't know what else to say except they're rad people and you all should know them. So I have my list of questions similar to Mark. I printed them in XL font because I have great vision, but I hate trying to read things. But just to really get things started, I really want to just get y'all's background so that more people can know about you from you. So kind of just like, what is your origin story? Like, how did y'all get into either skate or surf into this industry at all?
First of all, let's hear it for Kyrstin. Hi, team. It's that easy to moderate panels. I'm very distracted by your nails because there's aliens and UFOs on them, and I can't stop looking. But
It's Skullcandy brand. I'm just kidding.
But thank you for having us tonight. And for thinking of us and bringing us to meet all these amazing people. Thank you. What was the question? How did I get into surf?
How did you surf?
I got into surf because of this little guy right here up front, Marcello. Say hi, Marcello. I'm a pandemic surfer, so they love to hate us. As we know, everything was like very shut down in LA during the pandemic, like the real pandemic. Everything was closed. You know, I was feeling super isolated. Even the gyms were closed. And I found myself just running. I'm a terrible runner. I was running at the beach every day just to be outside. Did anybody else do weird stuff during the pandemic? I was not like baking bread. I wasn't doing any of that. And I saw some little kids surfing at the beach, little tiny kids. And I was like, I didn't grow up in LA. I didn't grow up like near the ocean. And I was like, that's what they do. They put their kids in the water so early. So they have this like comfort level. They're shaking their heads. You feel me? They have this comfort level, like even at a really young age. And I just thought, shit, I didn't put my kid in the ocean yet. You know what I mean? We would play and boogie board and hang out, but I just was like, okay, well, I want to put Marcello into surf. And so that's what I did. And he took a lesson and then dragged mom into it and was like, do it with me. And I was like, no, I'm good. I had zero desire to even try. But for the parents in the room, you know, you don't want to like punk out in front of your kids. So that's really how I ended up finding surfing, was through that experience, and then like immediately just getting hooked. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. What about you, Brooke?
How do I go after that? I grew up in Orange County, California, so I did grow up next to the beach, and I always was around the skate and the surf culture. My parents here did banners and stickers for companies, like any skate surf company you could think of, they did it, so I was around it all the time. I didn't get into surfing or skating until like my later years. I'm 24, but I just recently started skating like 4.5 years ago, surfing about 6 years ago. And I fell in love with it just based on like trial and error. Like I sucked so bad at it, and that's why I wanted to get better. Like
Now she rules. Just so we're clear, now she rules.
No, but yeah, it was just like that like trial and error where I was like, man, I hate that I'm so bad at this. How do I get better? So literally would go to the skate park every day, watch people, and just visually learn. And I think being around that, like in my childhood, just made me want to just do it even more. If that makes sense. Was that your question?
Yeah, that was it. Nailed it. Crushed it. Well, and just like going off script right now, but the fact is that y'all found these sports later in life. I'm gonna quote that for you. I'm like 20. Dang, yeah, but later in life, and amassed like, you know, a following and a community. I think that my like biggest question is like, how did you then seek out people? Like how did you find your people, so that you could continue on in this? Because it's always more fun with a friend.
With
right?
skating?
Yeah.
Not many women were in it.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I was like the only girl at the skate park, and I think that drove me to want to skate more and want to find like other women skaters or girl skaters, or just, I was just surrounded by so many men, and I love, you know, just being around it because it forced me to like want to be better. But I was like, man, I would really like to like just skate with a friend that like is equal level, and we're like forcing each other just to be better. To be honest, just going to different skate parks was like finding my community. And I think that with skating and just community in general, you can find like community wherever you go if you're open to it. So yeah, just making friends wherever I go. Skate park, you at the skate park, like yeah, it just comes naturally sometimes, but not always. But
What about you?
Black women in the water is a different thing. So our community has grown very organically. So I guess that resonates with me in terms of you were saying it felt natural, but there's like a lot of barriers and just like a lot of stuff kind of in between the way that a lot of us see ourselves and the types of spaces and places where we are supposed to take up space. And then just the thing, right? And so it grew organically, to answer your question directly, just by me posting on Instagram and opening myself up as a super beginner surfer at the time, and really giving myself permission to do that and not waiting until I had reached a certain skill level or amassed a certain following or any of those things, to just say like, I know that if I'm feeling this way and this is an intimidating place and thing for me, like I know that that's probably the case for other women like me. And so, yeah, really just through social media, going ahead and launching Intrsxtn Surf and saying, hey, Black women, women of color, this is here for us too. And you can just join me and we'll kind of like take this ride together, no pun intended. But it's been really dope to see if you can find a way to sort of like close that gap, right, between perception and reality of like what surf is and who it's for. It's like really beautiful and really powerful and just really dope, right? And so for me, the biggest hump wasn't necessarily like finding community or finding other girls that wanted to do it. It was like all that stuff in between that had to do with perception. You know, even stereotypes of like Black people don't swim or we can't swim, or Black women not wanting to get their hair wet, which is valid. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff there, but I think, you know, you don't have to be an expert to open yourself up to your community. Your community meaning anybody that you feel like would resonate with you and would feel you. I'm gonna clap real quick because that was really powerful. I think it was.
And what's really good, and now I'm in my like real like laid back pose. I'm like, no, but like one thing just that I think y'all both just brought up was finding your people, but like online as well, and using the internet. Because I think a lot of times a lot of people think about social media and it's like, you know, big bad social media, and you know, everybody's gonna be online talking trash, having opinions. Like of course they are, right? Like that's what people do, is they complain online all day. But I think that y'all both have like different stories about how the internet has really helped you to, one, find your people, two, help other people find their people, and then like three, my like biggest thing is just like, especially like Brooklyn, on your TikTok is all about just like showing love, spreading love, and making sure just that people know how much they are cared about. And I think that like maybe a little topic just that we could touch on right now is like how you all use social to reach new people and to have those conversations. So yeah, when you want to.
TikTok
Gave me the look.
She has 1.1 million followers in case you guys don't know on TikTok. So.
And you know what? None of that matters. And I'm going to be so honest. Like, that's what I think is like the key part of anybody that's like wanting to start in social media or like create a community behind it. Like, it doesn't matter about followers. It matters about what you're creating and if you're happy creating what you're creating. And I genuinely mean that, because a lot of people are probably in this room like, why would people want to pay attention to me? What do I have to like, why am I going to post? Like, nobody cares, right? But a lot of people do. And I think, like you just said, like there's a community behind everything that you do. It can be as simple as like sharing your story or what you go on, like what you go on, like what goes on in your life. It's important. But what was your question?
How do you use the internet to build?
Oh yeah,
get your story on.
That's right. I think genuinely being just the most authentic person that you can be, and not really like putting filters on, and just like sharing what you want to share. And like you said, there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be people behind the screens judging you for what you're doing. And I think just ignoring them and continuing to share what you want to share and create is just super important. And I think it'll work if you want it to work.
Yeah, no. I think just that like that's such a big point too, where it comes to the internet. It's this like, you know, how do I curate the best story? How do I tell like, or how do I, you know, stitch together the best reel that people are going to care about? But, you know, even just like going to either of y'all's pages, it's not these like perfectly curated stories. It's just y'all being yourselves, and people have found something just that resonates with them there. And that's community 101, right?
Yeah, just being authentic. Like not caring what you're doing, but also caring, but not caring.
It's like caring just enough.
Yeah,
you're not
the appropriate amount.
Exactly. Or, but I don't know if you wanted to chime into. I know that it was like TikTok.
Having like a little laugh to myself in my own head, thinking about where are my surfers in the room, so I know who can understand me. Okay, hey guys, I'm just having a laugh to myself as I'm listening to your responses, thinking about, you know, showing up on social media and sometimes people will say like learning how to surf is humbling, and it definitely is. It's like it's embarrassing. And I'm just thinking about like that part of showing up on social media as being a beginner surfer. Like, you don't fucking look cool. You look the worst you've ever looked, like ever. But you feel like the best you've ever felt. Like, I feel like I look my best immediately when I get out of the water, but I know that's not true. I know that I look the worst right
Probably
out
look
of the
great.
water. And then in the water, it's the same kind of thing. And so like that, there's a lot there too, right? Of like, how do we engage with these people online when surfing is this very vulnerable thing where like you come, the first thing you do is you get practically naked, you put on like a very tight wetsuit that feels uncomfortable and awkward, and then you get on like a 8-foot board and like get your ass beat by the waves. And then hope that somebody maybe or maybe didn't get that content and then post it on the page. So social has been fun.
How humbling is it to look at like a surf video and you think that you look so good and you're like, what am I doing with my butt? Why is it sticking out like that? Like,
Yeah. And you feel
Humbling.
like it's like so big and it's like you're floundering in a puddle. But if you can find joy floundering in a puddle, like flounder, boo.
That's where I find my joy.
That's right. Yeah.
What you guys don't know is we have a few plants in here that are just starting claps. So I'm just wondering what's going Steph and Molly. in
where's
back.
the sign, the clap sign?
It's like everybody applause. Well, just like a quick pivot, because I know that we do have like a bunch of brand people in here, and obviously like we are not. I guess like I am a brand person, but y'all are more or less community builders over brands. And I think just that there is like a question that most brands have, which is how do you as brand X tap into groups just that y'all are already talking to? Is it an outreach email? Is it a DM on Instagram? But like what is an authentic way for brands to reach out to you all? And by you all, I mean people that are doing the work that y'all are doing to find ways to work with you as well.
I'll be very clear about this one.
Yeah.
If there's brands in the room that are interested in not even just supporting us, but doing like real storytelling with Intrsxtn Surf, because it's cool and it's different and we're unique and we have a lot of amazing stories in our community and the visuals are dope, and it's so much stuff online these days is just so ubiquitous. I feel like I scroll Instagram and you put your phone down and like you don't remember what you just looked at. But I feel differently about what we're doing, and it's exciting. And my background for many, many years has actually been in brand partnerships, funny enough. And so that's where I feel the most comfortable, way more comfortable than surfing. But even with that skill set that I have, it ain't easy, right? And so I've been super blessed to work with some amazing brands already. But we are always looking for like I said, not just brand support, but like brand partners that can like, hey, let's get together so that we can elevate what you're doing and really show, your so-called brand values actually at work, at play, in real life, in community. Like that's something that we can do. And then, it's mutually beneficial because then we're getting the support that we absolutely need just in order to exist. So the best way is to just hit me up directly. One-man band over here for Intrsxtn. So would love to connect with all of y'all.
I know you don't have anything to say.
Do I have anything to say?
Yeah, I think
I think brands that want to work with people, and if you feel like they're the right fit for you, definitely like reach out. I know a lot of people do on like Instagram. I don't even know, like I'm not even talking directly about myself, but I know like a lot of brands that are looking to partner with people or to do whatever they want. Yeah, I think Instagram is your best bet. There's always some type of email in a bio, so I'll send a message, I guess. But
there's an email button on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can literally find anything. And the reason why I bring that up too is that I think that a lot of people are always like, oh, but like I don't know where to find people, or I don't know, who's doing what. But at the end of the day, it's just like a quick social media search. Like, I mean, I found IRL, a friend who met you IRL kind of a thing, but it's that like all these organizations, all these people, they are in the spaces. It's just you putting yourself in those spaces as well. And that's, I think, where like a lot of this happens. And thank you. I have a timekeeper in the back too, so I don't run over. But I have one more question specifically for you, Jessa, which is around intersectionality. I think this is like a great conversation for this room. So I think that like right now there's a lot of, buzzwords around like DEI and like DEIB and like how do we be intersectional and like all of that. I would really love to hear like just your, like obviously it's in your name of Intrsxn Surf, but just really what is your, like what's something just that more brands could be doing to make sure just that the work that they're doing is truly intersectional? I know that that's like a really heavy question, but just any opinion.
That's okay. I'm ready. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You got to be when the name of your collective is Intrsxn Surf. Thank you for asking that question. I think that's really important. I think first and foremost, if you are the steward of a brand, it would be good to know what intersectionality is. The term was actually coined by a Black woman from Ohio. I'm also from Ohio. And intersectionality essentially deals with the intersecting identities, multiple identities that people have that make a difference in terms of how they are perceived or how they show up or how they are treated or how they may or may not be marginalized because of those identities. So the reason I named our surf collective Intrsxtn Surf was because I started it because I had some pretty horrible experiences early on, where I was harassed really badly in the water, told to get the fuck out of the water. It was a very racially charged incident with words that I won't repeat. And when I was seeking support after that happened as a very new surfer, I realized that some of the other Black surfers didn't really understand what I was going through because they were mostly men. And some of the women surfers didn't really understand what I had experienced because they were white women. And that it was the intersection of my identity not being white or a man, but being in the water, trying to take up space out there, that shaped my experience. And so I think, you look at my kid right here, the big thing for brands right now is like, how do we talk to Gen Z? How do we resonate with Gen Z? And like Gen Z is the first majority minority generation, right? And so I think just stripping back to basics of understanding what these buzzwords mean and why they matter to all of us is a great start. I don't like the word really like diversity, right? I think it's about like understanding the basics of what those buzzwords mean. I think that would be a great start. Yeah. Let's start.
Well, since my timekeeper told me I'm almost over time, I just have a few fun questions. I know the answers to them for most of them, but I just think that they're fun. Actually, you know what? I'm only gonna ask you one of these questions because I know the answer. Because they were like, Brooklyn likes pickles. I know that. Sorry.
Who likes pickles? Does everyone hate pickles? I love pickles. I think they're so good. It's very controversial. I think people either hate them or they love them. But do you like them?
I love pickles.
Okay.
But we can
Pickle juice for cramps. I just learned that.
See?
Pickle juice for
Magical.
cramps. I just learned that.
Your son just gave you the thumbs down. So I don't know.
But you don't have cramps.
No, like athletic cramps, not menstrual cramps. Wait a minute. Not menstrual cramps, athletic cramps. Like you're paddling all out.
I think it helps with both. I eat a lot of pickles, so
it might work.
I'm good.
It might work for menstrual cramps too.
Sorry about that.
Why are you talking about cramps?
So sorry.
I love this. This is actually how I planned this whole entire panel. It was just for us to take a little quick turn in the end. No.
You knew that pickle question was going to come.
I know. I was like, we're going off the rails if I talk about pickles right now. But I have two more questions. One of them that I do want to ask is about projects. Because again, like being in a room like this, I'm just curious to know like what y'all's, no budgets, no anything involved. What are the things just that you would really want to work on in the next year, 5 years, 10 years? Or like how do you see things growing and changing for yourself and a brand?
I like promoting a lot of like beauty right now. I think beauty is so undescribable in so many ways. And the last like 2.5 years, I feel like I have not fit in a category of that until I was like, no, I definitely do. It's just everybody around me is just so focused on being perfect. So I think brands are around just like taking people as they are and just really diving deep into like who you want to, just like what brand you want to be represented by or by the person. I just think it's important to just be your authentic self, and people will come as you present yourself, if that makes any sense at all. Beautiful. Thank you. Beauty. Thank you. What about you?
Jinx.
I'm in manifest mode. I guess the biggest project is the really big one in my mind where, you know, my brand's mission is all about inspiring Black women and women of color to take up space and to give ourselves permission to take up space wherever we may want to explore. And so my son knows that I'm going to say, I've been just talking out loud at home to myself about how we're going to have an Intrsxn beach house. Woohoo. I don't know how we're going to make this happen, but I'm just throwing it out to the universe now in front of a bunch of strangers. Yeah, and I think that would really solidify, you know, the message and the movement that we're creating, because like I said, that's a huge part of our message, is about taking up space and creating a safe space for the women in my community to feel like they can show up and try a new thing and not be afraid to be humbled by the ocean or look silly doing it. And so hopefully the next time I see all of you at the 18th anniversary.
Ooh. Brian did say that we could take up this space, so we'll be here. I heard you on that.
So yeah, hopefully the next time at the 18th anniversary, I'll be inviting you to our beach house.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing? Actually, it's about BG. I just want to, about my guy BG that I just met an hour ago. I just want to say, I love what you said about this being a community space, and then you went and actually described exactly how the community can use it. That is what community builders need. We do like really tiring work that we love to do. Of course, that's why we do it, but we don't always have the resources to do the things that match the ideas in our minds, right? And so to not just be like, oh, it's a community space, like it's yours, but like you went through, like, no, you can do your podcast there, you can edit in the bay there, you can throw events, you can throw parties, like so refreshing to hear that. And I just was in the back of the room, like snapping my fingers, and I just wanted to say thank you. And I'll drive an hour and a half back down here just to use this space. I'll think of something. So
I'll come with you. We can carpool.
yeah, we'll do a collab event. But
There we go.
Thank you for saying that and for doing this, BG.
How do I close? And that's it. Jessa had the best close. I mean, I think I was gonna say that was really amazing. And I think too, it's like this is what this is all about, right? Is like bringing people together to have these conversations and figure out how we can all just support one another through all of this. It's funny because my final question was just like final notes on community building one, and I think you just said something that was like really powerful. But do you have any other things that y'all want to add in about community building, how you find your people, something that, you know, a quick anecdote about anything? We can't talk about pickles anymore.
Favorite brand of pickles? No. I think like community is just super important, and I feel like the more that you share about yourself, the more people you're going to attract, no matter what you're going through in life. And I think that genuinely sharing authentically will bring the community together. I know that sounds super cliche, but also very true. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Community. Community is such a big umbrella of things. I could like really just deep dive on anything. Community could be like your family, your friends, what you do for a living, your hobby, just what makes you passionate. Like he said earlier, passion will drive anything. So I think that's super important for community. And I can't wait to go to the beach house. Oh my God.
We're all going. We're all invited. That's actually our next initiative with Group Y. We haven't talked about it yet, but we're going to find the fun somewhere. But honestly, like, this is what this is all about. Like, just want to say thank you to Brooklyn and to Jessa for coming out, because when I tell you, like, I sent an email and was like, hey, y'all want to come talk at this thing? And they're like, what's Group Y? And I was like,
Last week,
I know, literally
12 o'clock at night.
Listen, we were DMing. It was fine. But like the fact that they were really stoked once we really started talking about what this mission was all about and how like the goal with Group Y and what we're doing right now is bridging all of these conversations, having a room that is really diverse, that is open to more conversations, and that is really passionate about moving this industry forward. They both wanted to be a part of it, and that's what I think is going to make this successful moving forward. But I'm, again, just like so eternally grateful because I also made that drive up from LA and was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I can't do this right now, but I have to. So I want everybody can just give a huge round of applause for Jessa and Brooklyn. And, oh, I also forgot to say, make sure to check out Intrsxtn Surf. It is, we'll send it in an email, but it's INTRSXTN.
Yes. There
So
you go.
Intrsxtn Surf.
If you forget, it's on her bracelet.
Yeah. And if you forget, just like walk up to her and follow her and be like, hey, let me grab that. And Brooklyn is across all social doing, it's Brooklinn Khoury. I know that you don't, she doesn't care about
Yours
social.
is also spelled differently.
Yeah. I do spell my name differently.
Go ahead, plug it.
All right. No, wait. My name's Brooklyn, but Broklinn. My mom's best friend's maiden name was Lynn, so we plugged that together. But yeah.
Yeah. And like,
Thanks for having us. I really do appreciate it. I think it's an important conversation, and happy that you thought of both of us. And you have passion too, and that's why this is going to be big. So just saying that.
all right, group hug. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Right.